Hey guys, this is Andy with Get Your Wellies. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do part 2 where I have been talking about growing sweet potatoes. We started with putting our potatoes in soil to get slips going. Now we have, as you can see here, lots of slips. So we're getting ready to do the next stage. So join me for that. But first of all, as always, why don't you get your wellies, meet me in the garden. So this jungle of slips right here are from a potato here and another one here, and I'm trying to use a light to help me show you this. It is a little tricky, I will admit. So obviously all of these places where you see a ton of shoots, like here, these are all growing from the potato, low to the ground or just right under. Some of them are pretty small. Here's one on top. Those we'll leave alone. The nice thing about potato slips is you're not limited to one harvest. We can pick a lot of these off and then let the rest grow. And so my plan today is to put these in some jars of water so they can start growing roots. Okay guys, I've got a couple of jars of water here that I'll be using to put these slips in. I'm gonna concentrate where we can see a bit more light. So if you see this one here on the side of the potato, I'm just gonna kind of gently pull that off. Kind of peel it downwards a little bit, and sometimes they'll come off with the root, sometimes not, but this is okay. The end of this will start to form roots pretty quickly, so we're gonna pop that in our water jar here. Oh yeah, a little bit too much water in that one, hold on. Let's go. Okay, so we got that one in water. Just make sure those root nodes are covered at the bottom. Alright, let's see. And some people cut these off. I've always had okay success with just pulling them off, honestly. So I'm going to go for one right here. This one's a bit longer. Let's see if we can... Got one. That one popped in. There's one off. Same kind of ending on there, just the start of some roots. Put that in the water. So there's two. Now you can actually make abundant amounts of slips from just one slip, which is crazy to me. These are almost, I mean, I honestly don't know why people ever buy slips. Now here's one with a little more root on it. Let's see if we can see that. Yeah, this one's got more root on it. Still not a big slip, but this jar here's kind of got some shorter ones in it. And I'll kind of stick them up out the top here at the end and fill the water to where it covers. You want to take the leaves off the bottom so there's nothing there to rot in the water. We'll fix all that here in a minute. Okay, so as you can see, I'm just kind of working on this potato and coming around the edge and just getting off what we can. This is kind of a bunch of things in here. Sorry, this is kind of hard to get in and show you the detail. I'm trying to get some with some pretty good roots on. Of course, they're rooted down in the soil. Here you go. This is a bit more like it. So there's a couple with some roots on. That's more like what we're looking for. And honestly, I'm going to tell you something else too. Roots or not, these will grow roots so quickly. You can put them in moist soil, so you could, if the weather was ready for them, just go ahead and put them outside. I Want to wait a little bit longer. I'm not trusting our Arkansas weather to not give us another cold snap. I don't know, you know, it's one of those things, if you sort of prepared for it, hopefully it won't come. If you go all out and put everything out there in the garden, and then you run the risk of, you know, getting another, and we had a pretty cold snap back in, that's a nice one too, a cold snap back in January, so I don't really want to deal with that with stuff outside, so I'm gonna go ahead and let these root a bit more in the house. I may feel a bit better about taking a chance, you know, in another couple of weeks. Ideal time in Arkansas to plant sweet potatoes is somewhere from about April 6th through about the end of the last week. April 6th and on, because they're going to take till roughly Halloween. There's another nice one there. I probably need to rinse the soil off of these roots too. So that's one jar. I'm going to go ahead and get enough for another jar. And let's see if I can find some longer ones here. Maybe this one looks pretty good. Yeah, that one came off okay. Not bad, not too bad. And let's see, this one here is like ridiculous. This one for some reason just took off. Anyway, let's see if we can get him off of there. He's a good one. Kind of like them to be similar sizes when I put them out, but that's probably being overly picky, to be honest. They don't really have to all match like that. But this one's going to start growing all up in my shelf system over here if I don't do something with it. So I'm just going to take that one off. Doesn't want to come. Got some roots up under there, I think. Oh yeah, there we go. That's good. So we got that one. I have to clean up my table a little bit here when we get done. Another good sized one here. So, you know, right now we're up to what, 6 or 7 slips, something like that, I think. I'll count them here in a minute. And I'll show you my bed. That's a sort of a little bonus on the end of this video I was going to put on. And I will probably, I don't know, maybe 8 or 9, maybe 10 slips in that bed. Because they've got more space to grow than they had in the tubs I used last year. So I think I can probably do, you know, 8 or 10. This is a nice little collection of slips right here, and I do have a friend of mine, you may have heard me talk about Val before. She's wanting, I think she said 4. I'll check with her. So obviously there's lots. You know, other thing I looked at, guys, the price of sweet potatoes is kind of crazy. It gets cheap for regular, even organic sweet potatoes, but these specialty ones like the Japanese purples, they're like at least 3 times the price. They're over $3 a pound. So if you like those kind of potatoes, I mean, it is, from a financial standpoint, definitely worth growing them, no question. So okay, we've got several. Let's see what we got at this time. I was trying to let a little bit more light into here because these potatoes are pretty firm. If they're firm and not mushy, that's sort of a good indicator they're going to give you more slips. That means there's still plenty of energy left up in there, so that's good. That means we'll still get more. I'm probably going to get more than I even need, so if there's anybody at my workplace that wants to get a few, I can probably pass them out. So we'll see. You know, it's nice when you have extra of anything, enough to give away. That's always one of the things that, you know, historically was so nice about people growing gardens. Ooh, that's a lovely root on that one. You know, people back in the days after the war and during the Great Depression utilized their gardens, their yards, they made them into gardens where neighbors really just took care of each other. And you know, our days of that seem to be on the decline. People just seem to go to the grocery store, they never think about giving each other food. Not that there's not neighborly people, of course there is, but yeah, the idea of growing food, and I grow something and you grow something else and we share, pretty rare, except when you're involved in the gardening community and you have contacts there. That obviously makes a difference. But that's another one with some. Okay, I'm going to stop, I think, right here. Let's see, I may have loosened up a couple of things. You're just getting to see a whole bunch of me pulling on plants, so let's try and show you a bit more. Let's see what we got. How about that? Hang on, guys. Well, I still have a whole bunch of slips still growing here, but I managed to glean 18 off of there. So here's 18 slips. So what I'm going to do is just trim these up just a little bit so that when I put them in water, there won't be leaves hanging out under the water. That's probably not good. Well, let me show you too, everywhere where you see a node on here, you can actually come down and cut below. You could cut below and plant that one, put that in water and let it root. Anywhere where you see new nodes coming in, I realize the light is not the best right there, but you got several where you can see nodes coming in. So I'm going to move these to jars, guys, and then we'll look at the final count and set up for that. Alright, guys, so I settled for 4 slips in each jar. I'm going to leave those here for right now, as long as they're by a window where they can get some light. That should be enough. And then once I'm confident that the weather is going to stay warm, and by warm I mean we want our nights to be really not dipping below 50 if at all possible, and daytime temperatures obviously 60 or higher is good. Really you don't want them going into the lower 40s. They might do okay with one night dropping into the upper 40s, but think 50s at night time for these. They're pretty frost tender. So guys, it's taken me about 4 weeks from putting the potatoes in their soil and waiting for the slips to grow, and still got lots of slips left, so that's pretty quick. A month. Need about another 3 to 4 weeks before we put them out. I did tell you that I would be moving them to a different bed, and on one of my recent videos, I believe the last one, we kind of looked at this type of bed building with these blocks and just sliding the wood into them. So that's what I have done. I also went ahead and added some soil. I do kind of like this soil. This is the raised bed and potting mix from Kellogg's. The only criticism, and it's not a big one really to me, but the soil is, it's kind of bitty. That is to say, it's got some organic matter that's still in the throes of breaking down. So not a big deal. The only thing I would recommend with that is that when you get ready to plant, you add a little fertilizer of your choice, just some 10-10-10 from Walmart or something like that. It's absolutely fine. Now, because these are going to grow up, the sweet potatoes will grow up this trellis, and this was on here last year, but it was over the tubs that I've been using here. So I've just kind of made this frame using T-posts, and it's literally just zip tied off, because these zip ties easily last a year, and that way it's easy to take all that down next year. So this took about, for those who may be interested, these 2 cubic foot bags. This is about just under $10, and I have put let's see, I think we have 7 bags in here thus far, and I have a couple extras. It's just raining. I had to kind of wait to come out to do this photography because it started raining today, and the soil is obviously going to sink down a little bit, but I've got some extra here in case I need it. So this is the bed for this year, and the trellis already on, so I'm kind of excited for the slips to get going. And most of all, I want the weather to warm up a little bit. Now the rest of the garden's still pretty shabby up here. I've got a lot of stuff to do, but you know, it's okay, it's coming along. So we're gonna do some more cleaning up out here, and I'll show it to you as time progresses. But it's been good. It's been pretty easy to do this. It's been a good day to put the sweet potato slips in some water to show you guys how we do that. That kind of concludes part 2. So on part 3 we'll of course plant them and talk a little bit more about them. So anyway guys, until the next video, I hope you have some good gardening fun as you get ready for your garden this year, and I will see you on the next video. Until then, bye now.